Welcome.
Hey, hold down now. Shut your mouth. Welcome to Opinion Havers, a movie podcast where Tyler hosts because it's Tyler's trash. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Cody.
Good. And that's Cody. Now I'm Tyler. Cody, what did I make you? I'll say endure. Watch, endure, experience. Really experience. I'll say experience.
We watched something that I think was called the Emoji Movie.
Emoji Movie.
And let me tell you, I wasn't having a good day yesterday. And I'll tell you what, this was easily the worst part of my day. I can't tell you. I can't tell you what you did to me. I texted you. You knew I was going through it. But oh boy, you did this to me, you know?
Cody, some have described this as the redheaded stepchild of the Lego movie and the Angry Birds movie. What would you say to that?
I would say that does a great disservice to both of those movies, you know?
It's your opinion. Cody, can you describe?
I would say, like, if the Lego movie is Russia, then this movie might be the Crimean Peninsula. I don't know, man. It was, I think... You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. You know?
I think you know what you're saying. But Cody, can you, for the lovely people out there, give me a rundown? What's the movie about? How can they take emojis?
You know how there's emojis in your phone? Well, what if they were in an 87-minute adventure movie? They're emojis. They do emotions and they run around in the phone, but they do what the emojis.
Yep.
Patrick Stewart's in it.
He is
That's
in it.
the big selling point. Patrick Stewart's in it. That's all you need to know. That's the big, you know, if a child wasn't sure if they were going to see it or not, they see Patrick Stewart listed in the credits and they're like, I got to check it out. You know, I watch every Patrick Stewart movie, so I'm not going to miss this one, you know?
Oh, yeah. Cody, let's just talk about, this movie, it won 6 awards, got nominated for 4 more. Like, this movie, top of the charts. All right.
How many of those awards were Razzies?
Look, Cody, we don't need to get into what the awards were. They just won 6 awards. Okay. You know, most of them were Razzies, sure, but that's not important. Okay. They also won, they were nominated for the Kids' Choice Awards. So, you know.
To be nominated for a Kids' Choice Award as a family movie is perhaps the greatest achievement of all. You know, how'd they pull it off?
Cody, we're talking a movie. You got TJ Miller in there. He's a treasure. Can we agree he's a treasure?
Yeah.
We got James Corden, who as a goofy, annoying sidekick is perfectly cast, right? Because you want to hate him, but you love his voice and he's goofy. So he's perfect, right?
Tyler, I don't think you want to know my opinions of this movie.
No, you
That's what
love
I think.
it, Cody. You know, yeah. Let's go through. Let's just run through it a little bit here. TJ Miller, James Corden, Anna Faris, Maya Rudolph.
Get me into my rant.
Stephen Wright.
Let me cook,
Jennifer
dude.
Coolidge, Patrick Stewart, Cody. Christina Aguilera. They're just the best of the best. Can I tell you, I didn't know Christina Aguilera was the voice of that character, but when I saw it, I was like, I bet you that's. I thought to myself, it's definitely voiced by Christina. Because
Sofia Vergara's got a little, you know, she pops in. Does she say any words? I don't think so. She's the tango lady. So when the tango lady goes like da 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 da, yeah, that's her. So there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Tyler, let me tell you. I got TJ Miller. You know, when you're watching an animated movie and they cast a bunch of celebrities in it for some reason, and then you pick out all the voices. I got James Corden. I got Maya Rudolph. I got TJ Miller. I was on fire, and Bailey didn't believe me. I was like, this is that one guy. This is that guy. This is that guy. And, you know, I felt real good about myself.
I'm proud of you, Cody, you know, because that's what it takes. Here's the thing, Cody. Here's what you don't understand. You're out here. You may be trash talking this movie a little bit. You may have loved it, and you may just be trying to mislead me. All right. But at the end of the day,
Tyler, I gotta tell you, I got a brain disorder, and one of the things about this brain disorder is that I am too honest. Isn't that fun? I don't know how to lie. That's basically how my brain works. So there you go. So if I've told you something, America, take me at my word. It's also probably the reason why I can't get a job because I do not interview well.
Here's the thing, Cody. What's the number one advice I've given you every time we talk about your interviewing? What do I say? Lie.
Lie more.
Lie. Here's the thing. Let's do a quick role play. Cody, ask me a question that you've been asked in an interview by some douche in a suit. Go.
Tyler, what's your least favorite thing to do at work?
My least favorite thing to do at work is probably, just going home at the end of the day, leaving my work family. I love my family, but leaving that my real home, and that my real family, just it hurts, and that's what I'm thinking about. I'm always thinking, how can I do better tomorrow? And that's my least favorite thing. Also, sir, that's a terrible question, and I'm going to be closing this interview out.
Yeah,
we're going to be ending this interview. That's a terrible question.
No, wait, hold on. We can offer you $200,000.
No, thank you, sir.
We'll give you a 20% bonus.
I already get that, so that's I'm.
What about a company car?
Nah, I don't need that. I'm outie.
We'll get you a sex secretary.
Tyler's out. This is the difference between you and I interviewing. This is a real interview that I feel like I could have. And this is what you dream of having. And I just think here's what we need to do. I will apply for jobs. Then you show up and interview for them. And then I'll just do your work for you. Right? That's what we'll do. I'll just do
I have
two
another
jobs.
plan. You know how some people do 2 jobs at once, and they don't tell the other job? What if I just helped you do your job? What if you got like a job that paid $200,000 and I just helped you do it, and then I could keep like $60,000 of that, Then you're making more money. I'm making money. Like, it's a win-win.
I would be lying if I had not thought of this.
I'll do all the sitting in meetings that you'll never contribute to, and I'll answer all the stupid emails, and I'll let you just do the work.
Here's the thing, Cody.
How about that?
Let's break it down for a second. Let's take a step back from the masterpiece of the Emoji Movie. Let's talk about Tyler's profession. What? Okay?
Yeah.
My job can really be split into 2 main parts. There is engineering, like programming, designing, things like that. Controls engineer. I design, program, engineer things, automation for factories and such. Then there's the project management side and the documentation side. That side, you could handle no problem. So here's what I'm thinking. I will get it. I'll get another job. You just handle that for all of my jobs. I'll tell you right now, there's at least a 79% chance that my current job would be 100% okay with me farming it out to you and just double checking all of your work. Like, they would be absolutely okay with it.
Oh, man.
So that's my plan. And then the other job, we just never tell them. Then I'm doing all the programming. You're doing all the stuff that makes me want to die. And it's not fun. Here's the thing. You're thinking, oh, this is a good deal. But what the thing is, you're going to sit you're going to sit in meetings for the next 3 years about a project that you have nothing to do with. But guess what? Every single meeting, somebody's going to look at you and say, how do we move on to the next step? And you're going to have to come up with an answer for a project you are not involved in.
Yeah.
That's what the reality is. Anyway. So lie in interviews, lie on your resume. Here's the thing. Everybody's like, my daddy, he forged his master's degree from MIT and now he builds planes. No, he does not. That's a lie that you hear at every rock concert. All right. That's not real. I've heard a man at a rock concert announce it from the pulpit. It's a stage, right? It's not a pulpit, but they probably have a pulpit. It's a rock concert in the Midwest. And I was like, BS, this guy does this. There's no way. Anyway, don't do that. But if they're like, oh, have you ever managed a project with more than 50 people? Absolutely. How did that go? Oh, we're really good. What did I tell you earlier, Cody? We're working with a really difficult client. We came up against a real tough obstacle, but we really, we managed to, through a lot of teamwork and a lot of brainstorming and some creative solutions, we managed to push past it and get the client the solution that they were looking for in the end. Oh, can you talk more about that? I'm sorry, I can't. It's a NDA project. I can't talk about any proprietary information of theirs. Boom, you've done it. You've nailed it. That is free advice for everybody. You sound professional. You sound important. They want you. They want you in bed. They want you in the office. All right. Then you got to negotiate. How do you work from home? Here's how you negotiate how you work from home. They want you. They want you so bad. They're drooling. They're dreaming of you at night. And then you get hired. Then you go to the office twice. And then you text them and you say, I'm never coming back to the office. And they go, all right. They're going to say, but you have to. And then you say, but I'm not gonna. And then that's the end of that. That's how you do it. This is how you get a job in 2023. Can you follow through on all that, Cody? Can you lie this much?
I can't lie at all, but I'll try.
Here's the injustice of it, Cody. I recently found out I had a thing that makes my brain misfire. So it's like, oh, so you have poor hand-eye coordination. So you can't lie. I randomly will shove my finger into cactuses as I'm trying to reach for them to pick them up to buy them for my lovely wife who's from Arizona. And my hand will go rogue. It's like, oh, we close now? And it closes on the cactus. And I'm like, no, hand, you don't close on a cactus. And then what happens? Your wife makes fun of you for it for years. So I feel like together we make one functioning human. All right. You can grab a cactus without grabbing his needles, and I can lie in an interview. We've got this, Cody. Together we can beat the Emoji Movie. Okay.
Just the worst superpowers ever. A man who can grab any cacti. Another man who can lie to anyone in the world. Yeah.
I
what
was
would
asked
that super team be called,
a basic question in my first interview, Cody. And I tried to BS my way through it. Looking back, I did not do it well, Cody. But I got the job, Cody. I sold it. I closed the deal. What do they say? Man. Cookies are for closers, Cody. All right. You want that cookie. You know who's a closer, Cody?
James Corden.
Poop is a closer. All right. You look at that man, you see a closer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cody, do you have any? I know your top level is hate.
Dude,
do you have top level, or do you want to dive into it?
I got nothing else. You want my look? I didn't like this movie at all, except for a couple bits. And look, that's something. Some critics go out here and they're like, "This movie sucked," and I'm gonna hate on it, and I'm gonna make a creative pun about how bad it is. I will not do that. I'll hate on it and I'll say one or two things I liked about it, and that's that's the integrity. That's my inability to lie. Look, it's rare that I watch a movie that I hate every bit of, and this movie made me laugh twice, and I'm going to tell you exactly when it did. All right. That's my promise to you. What about you, Tyler?
Cody, let me tell you, I had heard for years that this movie was the worst travesty since the Holocaust. All right. That it's the worst, that it's like, oh my gosh. It's a war crime. All right. Sony, take them down. I was going to say this earlier, Cody. What are we if not an Xbox and a PlayStation guy? All right. You're out here. You got PlayStation. You're, all hail PlayStation. That's why I hear you say every night before you go to sleep. And you're out here bad mouthing this movie. And I'm here, Xbox fan number one. I was like, this movie did not kill my firstborn child. Of course, I don't know. I don't have a firstborn child yet. So maybe it'll come back. Maybe TJ Miller will slink in my window at night and just, really get him. Maybe that's how I find out I got baby Hercules. He is the snakes. He's the snake sent by Hera to kill my baby.
No, he's not. I know for a fact he's not. Get out of here. You're thinking of Bobcat Goldthwait.
What?
There's just one of them. The comedian's name's Bobcat. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know the comedian you're talking about. I'm talking about the snake, but I'm just talking about the myth of Hercules and how he had snakes that he killed when he was a baby.
I thought you were saying TJ Miller was the voice actor. I was like, no, I know the voice actor. All right, carry on. Whatever.
So, I thought I was not as offended by it, but it's because I was ready to, I was ready for TJ Miller to reach through the screen and slap me across the face during this movie, and it didn't happen. So I was like, that's fine. But Cody,
I'm ready.
You more? Okay.
No, I'm ready, dude. I'm Cody, so ready.
Here's the thing. I need you to hop in this golf cart. I got Terry Bradshaw on the back. We're going to go ref some NFL games. Remember, we talked about this earlier. We're getting rid of the refs in the NFL. There's no good segue with the Emoji Movie, so we're getting in here. Here's my pitch, Cody, right? You remember, we're getting rid of all the refs in the NFL. You, me, Terry Bradshaw, in a golf cart, we're circling. If the players can knock us over during the play, that's 10 points to your team. But if we throw a flag and we hit you, that's a 5-yard penalty. All right, so we're just circling them, flinging flags in there, and they're trying to knock us over, but they're also trying to get touchdowns, you know? Tell me that would not make the NFL.
It sounds like you've combined the NFL with Quidditch in that there's like competing objectives happening at the same time, you know? Like in Quidditch, there's people trying to score goals, there's people trying to murder people, and then there's a dude looking for a golden ball, you know? And it's like, this is one game, this is one sport happening at once. You're like, yes, it is.
All right.
So yes,
you brought it
I'm
up,
all for it. I'm all for it.
Let's do another thing. In another stadium, in another city, we have two dudes chasing a gerbil around the stadium. All right. And if they catch it, then the other team loses. All right.
Hold on. I have a caveat. These are just two random fans picked out of the stadium.
It's two random guys. They're plucked off the street.
It's not an animal control guy who knows what he's doing. It's like two people. They're like 8 beers deep and they're ready to go.
Yeah. They are a hood thrown over their head, dragged away in a van, put on a jet, flown to the other city. They're pulled out of the stadium of the game, mid-game, flown to the other city.
Yes.
And then let loose on the gerbil.
Or rather, the gerbil's let loose on them, you know,
the gerbil is going to be, it's every hour they don't catch it, another gerbil gets let loose.
Eventually, the gerbils win. Like GoPros on the people and on the gerbil so you can get like updates of where they're at, you know, like the game, you know, when they like pan away in the game's like, oh, hey, we're having an interview with the player, but also here's the game going on. You'd be like that, like the game's going on, but then also like, anyway, here's the gerbil cam, you know, and you see where he's at scurrying around.
Yeah. I feel like we could get it sponsored by the Puppy Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, we're here in and the other stadium is in Spoiler Town. That's how we bring it. That's how we bring it back around.
We did it.
Yeah, the stadium, Spoiler Town, USA.
NFL's back, baby. All right. Do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
Here's the thing. I want you to start. I need to know. I've been waiting years now.
I don't have 5 minutes on me, but you know, I'm gonna give you all I got, and we'll see how it goes.
Off on this movie. Here's the thing, Cody. Before you really start, though, I don't have the clock pulled up. So I have no idea.
I'll stop talking eventually. You know. Tyler, shut your face. Shut your face. You put this on your list and you intentionally made me watch it. And it's been sitting on our watch list for a couple months and we've been busy. It's been the summer of good movies. There have been so many good movies out. We've been out here having a good time, watching good movies, watching Cody movies. And then, bam, you punched me right in the face with the Emoji Movie, you know? And I knew I was going to dislike it, but you know what I wasn't prepared for? Ooh, the apathy. You know, I care so nothing about this movie. Let's talk about this. In Fight Club, the book, not the movie. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie in a while, but I read the book a lot. Here's the thing. They talk about how, like, you know, what's worse? If God doesn't know who you are and is completely apathetic, or if you're a terrible human and God at least knows your name and can curse you, you know? And they in the book are like, I'd rather have God know my name, even if it's for being a bad person. And there you go. So I feel like it would be better if I hated this movie. Do I hate it? No. Did I hate it? Yes. And in that way, I am completely apathetic to it. This movie was so, like, it wasn't bad. It was just not good at all, you know? And in that way, it was so much more disappointing to me, if that makes any sense to you. Let's talk about this. I opened the movie on. That's not even a way to describe something. I opened the movie on. That's better. And I was like, hold up, how are they going to make a plot out of this? And you know what? I'll hand it to them. They didn't. Psych, they didn't make a plot out of this movie. This movie, I don't even know what. There's an emoji, does a bad job being an emoji. Then he's got to scurry throughout the phone to go to the firewall, get through the firewall to do what? I forget. Leave the phone? Is that what they were trying to do? I don't know. Here's how the movie ends, all right? The movie starts and the kid's like, my phone's malfunctioning because that emoji's being bad. And he's like, I'm going to go torch my phone at the tech support center, which, first of all, no child is going to the tech support center. All right. They're hacking it on TikTok and they're breaking into the mainframe. And that's how they're fixing their phone. Anyway, So whatever, at the end of the movie, he emojis the girl he likes, and it's an emoji so hot, so nasty, so compelling, so interesting. The woman falls in love with him, and that's the moral of the story. If you text the right emoji, you'll get someone to go into your pants. And that's what this movie's really about. It is a children's movie, which I find concerning, and I didn't like it. So that's about it. They made the plot. Do you want to know the two things I liked in my rant, or do you want me to save it for later? Do you want me to give me a shrug? The apathy. Love it. Continuing with the theme. We'll see how I do. I'm worried about Fish Cake. I don't know. Of all the characters, there were a billion characters in this movie. There was Poop, there was High Five, there was Meh Emoji, Meh Emoji's mom, Meh Emoji's dad, Just Dance Lady. And there's also Fish Cake with a swirl in it. And they're down there in like the basement of rejects that no one likes or cares about. And there's a Fish Cake, the Fish Cake. You find them in ramen cups sometimes, like the fancier ones that have little bits and bops in them. It's the little swirl and it's little fish and they mash it. It's Asian, all right? And you eat it and it's fine. I'm not a fan, whatever. They're at a table and there's a couple of them talking, and then there's Fish Cake, whose whole thing is that he goes like, and that's his thing. And he got like 7 lines, and I was just like more disturbed that someone came up with it than that it existed. You know what I'm saying? I was like, who is the person that because every emoji was at least the conceptually sound. It was like, oh, Poop emoji. He's classy. He's Patrick Stewart. That's kind of fun, Got the old school emoticons, that I get it. The meh, you got to be meh, Smiley lady, she's the villain, but she's smiley. She's like, I get it, Then there's Fish Cake, who's just like screaming, and and everyone was fine with it. I was worried about him, I didn't like it. There's emojis having marital problems, and like that scene, I'll tell you, it almost won me over. But then I was like, you know what? No, I'm not having it. I'm not watching these emojis have marital problems. You know what I'm saying? You're out here, you're saying James Corden was well cast in this. Look, I'm going to come off as a James Corden hater, and I want to be clear. I am not a James Corden hater. I've seen some of the bits of his BBC show. Seems pretty good. I've seen his talk show. He's pretty good at it. They do some fun segments. I got no beef with James Corden. This movie was way too much James Corden. You know what? I OD'd on Corden, and it didn't make me happy. It made me upset. And that's my time.
All right, Cody, I got to cut you off just in the middle of your rant there. Oh, I almost closed out of the clock like a fool. All right, are you ready for me to just hop into mine?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, you shush now, Cody.
I need to chill.
No, you shush now. Okay, Cody, here's the thing about this, right? This is a movie, right? Is it a movie about emojis? Did they look at the keyboard and think, yeah, this is it. This is it right here. What do we got? We got, open season, where we got movies about, bears and deer, and we got Surf's Up. We got where the second movie is just a WWE made movie, like they're out here making stuff. Let me tell you, these are the people who made Spider-Verse. All right. Let it sink in, Cody. This is the same studio. These are the same animators. They're out here pumping out Spider-Verse, Peter Rabbit, Angry Birds, the Smurfs. Sony Pictures Animation is such great animators with such crappy movies. Let's be real. That's what this movie is. Okay. It's a great animation, crappy movie. It is emojis. Here's what I'll say. This is controversial, Cody. This movie, I think this is as good as you can possibly make a movie about emojis. I don't think it can get better than this. This movie, it's a camel. It's a movie by committee. This movie feels so hard. Like somebody wrote a very simple, like, oh, being yourself, you're a little unique, but everyone else wants you to be conform. And you're like, no, I'm different. And it's a little simple, coming of age adventure, whatever. And then every executive, every level of Sony's like, what if we did this? And they changed it to where it's like, cool. This really now kind of feels like a series of events that happen and they're one right after another. But it, like you said, it feels like there was a story, and then they were like, all right, but I have 2 commas in my salary, and I think we should do this. And everybody was like, yes, sir. You're so smart. You're so smart. Should we have a Just Dance level? Yes. What? Why? How much money did Ubisoft give them for this movie? That's what I want to know. Because I think, here's what I think. At the end of it, who is the most salvageable person? Who had the most lines that made sense? Because none of his lines really made that much sense, because he's supposed to be the like insane comic relief sidekick. And so obviously he's not going to say anything super important. Oh, it's James Corden as High Five. So guess who's the real star? Let's talk about who is the real star of the movie. It's High Five, right? He's definitely featured in the movie more. And there's like, he's more front and center. You look at him, he's so squishy and lovable. You just want to squish him. He barfs up a candy corn and then eats it again. And Gene's like, no, don't do it. But he does it, Cody. Do you remember that? They go to Candy Crush. There's a whole sequence like he's going to die. And then it's like, he didn't. Cool. Moving on. Anyway, everything in this seems like this could happen. It didn't anyway. And moving on. And so the movie feels like a waste of time, but is it? Absolutely. It is a waste of time. But is it as bad? It's like, does it deserve 12 on Metascore or Metacritic? I don't think so, because there are worse movies that have like 50 and up to 60. You know, is this movie? I'll say it right now. It's better written than any Sharknado. How dare you? Sharknado, trash movies, but that's because they're supposed to be trash. This movie, what did they want it to be, Cody? They wanted this multi-billion-dollar franchise, you know? They wanted all the kids. I want emojis. I love emojis. You know how the perfect time to launch an emoji movie? When emojis are becoming less and less used and less popular, or they're just like kind of an afterthought when you're texting. When was the last time you seriously used an emoji in a text? Let's talk about kids doing it. No kids are using emojis. They're all like, these kids today, they're going back to hieroglyphics. And they're not. They're really not. I guarantee you they're not. I'm going to think I'm giving you a false thing, right? I think you're thinking, Tyler, you hate this movie. But Cody, no. This movie, so funny. High Five, he's trying to sneak into the party. What does he do? He pulls the juke move. He runs out. And then he's like, wait. And then he has to do it again. So funny, Cody. Peak comedy. Poop, like you said, he's classy. And then there's nothing else. You have Patrick Stewart playing the poop emoji, and you're like, he's classy. It's like, yeah, that's the bit. Nobody who uses him in a movie in that kind of a role is like, he's very classy and refined. It's like, no, sir, this is the man who plays Deputy Director Bullock on American Dad. He'll do anything. He will say anything for a paycheck.
Tyler, I'm going to have to cut you off right there. I mean, let's talk about the Candy Crush sequence. What even was it? You know, what a waste of
product placement.
What a waste of our lives. You know, they're like, you know, all the apps the kids have got. Candy Crush, Just Dance, Dropbox. It's like, how are these the 3 worlds we disappear into? I don't know. It was one of those movies where it's like, all right, we're here. Here are the stakes. I got to tell you the stakes for this next thing to be happening. And anyway, it didn't happen. Carry on. Next app. I was like, what are we even doing here? Oh,
but man. Wasn't Smiler so sinister, Cody?
Whatever. Smiler, I don't care. That's the problem. I don't care about any of these people. Even a little bit. Okay, I have something to confess. I'll do it. Right. You think I won't be honest? I will be too honest. That's why no one loves me. Tyler, here's the thing. Remember like 4 years ago when we watched Her, except you didn't watch it, you played Minecraft? I scrolled my way through this movie. I didn't have it in me. This movie, look, I was trying to finish another movie. That was going to be my Saturday night. And then I was like, I got another movie to watch. Oh, great. So I watched the movie I wanted to watch, which also wasn't even that good of a movie. And then I had to watch this movie. Tyler, it was a bad time. It was a bad time for all of us. Now let's talk about the good thing about this movie. 2 good things happened in this movie, maybe 2.5. All right. Number 1. And this is the thing. Anytime you go into an animated movie, there are dedicated animators that had to suffer through this project, and they throw in some fun little bits where it's like, you know what? This is why animation's fun, you know? And it's why all the Illumination Dr. Seuss movies work, you know, because the animation's fun. there's a thumbs up in this movie. And he does crunches and he has a 6-pack. And something about that stupid thumb with the 6-pack, it got me. I was like, this is great. This is fantastic. Well done, you know? Whoever spent 3 weeks putting a 6-pack on that on that thumb doing crunches, you did a great job. Number 2, the emoticons get bumped or something. He says, ow, my colon. I was like, all right, hats off, sir. That, you know, whoever wrote the pun, you did well. All right, ow, my colon, great work. That's about it. They put in everyone's favorite classic kitten meme, the kitten that goes.
Yeah, it's our little arms.
You know that?
Oh, yeah.
Should they get any credit for it? No. Do they? They get a half a point. You know what I'm saying? So there's my little positives. Also, while I was doom scrolling while watching this terrible movie, I found a recipe for snickerdoodle blondies, and I'm totally going to try it out, you know? So if it wasn't for this movie, I never would have found that snickerdoodle blondies recipe. So really, that's like 3.5 points, which I haven't dove into my point system that I just started, but you know, for being the Emoji Movie, 3.5 points, not bad.
Here's the thing, Cody. You're sitting here, you're saying... you were sitting there scrolling on your phone while watching this movie, you know, not really giving it a chance. I was playing Starfield while watching the movie.
Tyler, have you watched any of the movies we've recorded on this year? That's my question.
I watched this movie recently with Tiffany, right? And so I was like, I just want to watch it again so that I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiffany likes the movie. Here's the thing. I think there's a world, you know how I said I think it's as good as it gets? I think there is a world where it gets better. Forget that. I lied. How do you like that, Cody?
My brain doesn't understand lying. How dare you?
Let's take this movie, right? Parents, their marital problems. Let's cut that. Let's cut that out. Let's put in some jokes. Let's put in them bumbling their way through some stuff. Maybe a funny sequence or two.
It's hard to make a whole bit out of it, you know. They really try to make a meal out of the fact that they are meh, but sometimes they say things that aren't meh, you know.
Exactly.
And it's that's nice for a little, you know. That's like a little 2-minute comedy skit. That's like a 25-second TikTok, you know. It's not like a whole B plot for the movie.
Here's the problem: they saw some executive. They wrote a movie, I think, that was, they're going on a thing. He meets the princess and falls in love and stuff. But I think what they wrote originally was hyper simplistic and made for children and relied entirely on comedy bits played out by T.J. Miller, James Corden. Now, what I think happened was some executive saw his nephew, grandson, a child, maybe just a child that he encountered in the wild and took as his own, watching the Lego movie. He then took it to the writers and the animators who were 99% done with the movie and said, make this with emojis. And so then they were like, okay. And so they had approximately 1% of the movie to make it into that. Right. And so they're like, cool, now we have to add drama. And they're like, well, we haven't done anything with the parents yet, so let's make them have a struggling marriage, and let's just make it to where it's like, oh yeah, so the girl's she's a princess, but she's a dark hacker, and the guy, he's just a regular guy, but he's different, but he's not different, but he is different. He's the special, and it's like, but the thing is, the Lego movie, so well done, right? We can agree on that. We all thought it was going to fail. We all laughed at him. We all thought, how dare you, sir? You've ruined everything. We ran them out of town. We burned down their homes. We poisoned their water supply. Basically, we bubble buddied them. Okay. And then it came out and it was great. And we were like, sorry, you know?
Tyler, let's talk about this. Because here's the thing. Even if the Lego movie was as bad as this movie, it had one thing going for it, which is a super fun song. And here's the thing. If you're going to make a bad animated movie, here's what you do. You trolls it. You base it around music, or at least have it feature a song or two that are like part of the movie or the plot or whatever, so that you at least have that to lean back on, you know? And that's the thing about Lego Movie. Great movie, but also great song. Get the Lonely Island in here, throw together a fun track. Trolls movies, they're not great. They really aren't. They're a little bit better than this movie, except they're based around fun music. So at least sometimes Justin Timberlake sings a song and you're like, that's a good song, you know? So that's what I'm saying. And look, they're like 4 movies deep on the Trolls thing, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So that's my advice to the Emoji Movie, is that they need to throw down with some music and it'll cover up some of their sins, you know?
I think you're right. I think it all comes back to this movie feels like a movie that started with the same kind of energy as something like a Trolls or Lego Movie, where this is not a movieable property. Let's do something fun with it. And some weird executive got his little grubby little mitts on it and said, this is how this is going to go. And it's like, but those movies only work. Same with Spider-Verse, which is another movie they made. They only work if you have like, if 90% of the like executive producers roles or like the producers roles is to like go like fight away all these like high level corporate executive guys that are going to try to jack with the movie. And they're like, no, sir, you can't come in here and do that. And I feel like this thing, no, somebody, this is a movie. This movie was sacrificed on the altar of capitalism to get someone a promotion. All right. That's what it was. This is somebody sucking up to their boss. And they came out with this movie because we all know you can have a trash movie with dialogue that makes no sense. But if it is just one long, like one-liner or bit to bit to bit, we watched Lockout and you loved every line that came out of that guy because it was just the best action movie one-liners after the best action movie one-liner. And you're like, it's worth it. It's worth every minute because what's the next one-liner going to be? You know, everything around it, trash. But if you'd always been sitting there like, what's Poop going to say next? You know, it would have got you through. You need something to get you through. You know, you need something to latch your horse to just say, you're going to carry me because I can't do it. And they didn't. They were like, I think I'd be willing to bet that like 60% of TJ Miller's lines got cut by the end of it or something, because it feels like he doesn't do a lot of talking. And he was a pretty big deal when the movie came out. Like he was sought after, right? Cody, this movie.
Look, let me talk to you about the trivia for this movie, because first off, I don't trust any of it. Second off, let me tell you my favorite thing. It's the first thing. And it says in January 2018, Saudi Arabia lifted a 35-year ban on movie theaters. This was the first movie publicly shown in the country. It's a double feature with Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, which is, you know, better than this movie, you know?
It's my favorite piece of trivia for this thing. I do like... Do you have the same one below it where they invited that one guy to the premiere?
Who was that?
Jack Douglas.
Oh my gosh. He praised it sarcastically.
And so they thought he actually praised it. And so he went. I do know. Like, I think he went and dressed up and everything. And like, it was a whole thing. And he's like, yeah, no, they thought I actually liked it. Also, you know, Jordan Peele being offered Poop and saying that's messed up.
That can't be. Well, the funniest thing at the end, that he was messed up. Then he asked about the job pay, and then he found out they gave it to Patrick Stewart, and they claimed that he decided to quit acting after this to concentrate on directing, which can't be true in any universe. But no, okay, you know, the first part's funny.
I remember when this movie, before it came out, hearing about it, him being because it was a whole thing where he's like, "That's messed up." And then, like, I don't know if it's true necessarily. I think it'd be, you know, maybe he got offered this role, then just like, yeah, I'm done. But like, okay. I remember
it's in his Vanity Fair interview. Whoa. Yeah. Hold on. Let's look at this.
I do remember it being a thing. And then, you know, we got Get Out. So Get Out, Us, No Way Home or whatever. What are all the movies he's...
Get Out,
Us. Up, Us, We, You, Me, They, She, He.
Oh my gosh. Here it is. 7. Are you ready?
I don't know.
The Emoji Movie actually helped me quit acting, Peele confessed at the podium. I was offered the role of Poop. Pause to show the audience inside the Hilton Ballroom. to assure the audience inside the Hilton ballroom. This is true. I would not make this up. Let's see. When Peele's manager told him about the offer, Peele responded, "That's effed up." And after a beat, "I'm going to sleep on it." The next day, called his manager back to see, just out of curiosity. Oh no, it's gone. There it is. Out of curiosity, what they were going to pay him. Peele's window for the degrading opportunity already closed. The manager said they've already given it to Sir Patrick Stewart. I was like, F this. Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, so there's that piece of trivia where TJ Miller said this is the fastest produced animated movie in history. So I guess that kind of goes to that same, like, they pumped this thing out real fast. I will say, shout out to the Sony Animation Studios. They are masters of their craft. They are out there killing it, even on movies like the Emoji Movie. Looking great. Giving that thumbs up abs for days, you know?
Yeah. Let's talk about the other thing, the lesson to take away from this movie. Oh, go ahead with your thing. I think your thing's related.
Oh, I mean, I was talking about the abs, you know, even High Five tried to get abs.
So good.
Do you remember? I remember this. There's the next trivia piece, which was them promoting the movie with a press conference where they had TJ Miller parasail in.
I saw that in the trivia.
And you thinking that's not real. It was real because I remember
what is happening. I just naturally only believe half of the trivia in IMDb, and we're proving all of them correct, and it's making me very upset.
Here's the thing about this movie. I remember watching the listening to the podcast and like watching videos about it and stuff, and people just say it's like Sony was going through a divorce and trying to convince us that it was the fun parent, right? And then it's like, look at all this wacky stuff. We're making an Emoji Movie. TJ Miller's parasailing into a press conference. We're making a black guy play poop. Look at us. We're so fun. And everybody was just like, oh, this is very sad.
Oh, man. I mean, yeah. Here's the thing. I like TJ Miller a lot, and I don't know his career.
It is questionable.
He's made some choices. And
he was in that.
I've already had this whole debate where, like, he's complained about working with Michael Bay. He's complained about working with Ryan Reynolds. And, like, I'm just wondering if something isn't up with him, you know, something going on with him, or is he really getting mistreated by all these people that, like, have had a lot of success in Hollywood, you know?
Here's what I think. I think TJ Miller is one of these guys in Hollywood who's just a dude. I think he's just a dude. I think he's just like kind of a stonery kind of dude. He's out here doing dude stuff. And you put those guys in and you're like with Ryan Reynolds and Michael Bay. Michael Bay's going to bully a guy like TJ Miller. 100%.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I believe that all these like Michael Bay-esque guys out there causing all this bayhem, they're scoping TJ out here, and they're like, that guy's got a bullyable face. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I mean, I don't have a hard time believing that, because I feel like he'd be easy to kind of push around and get, you know. So, you know, is it something up with him, or is it something up with Hollywood? Because let's all remember, let's all take a step back and remember that every major actor, director, producer, everybody, they all knew for a fact what Harvey Weinstein and all those guys were doing for 50 years.
Yeah.
And did nothing. Remember that. Let it sink in. Whenever you're like, this person's a good person, they're not. They're a bad person. All of them are bad people. Except for TJ Miller. He's a sweet boy, and that's why they bully him.
Stop.
He's just wants to be a guy, you know? He's just out here.
I got one more thing to say about this movie. And look, you're going to say it's too early. We've got a vamp. I doubt it very much that is true. Here's my thing. This is the real big lesson I learned. Don't lie to your children about your trauma. Look, here's the thing. At the end of this movie, the dad is like, you know, this is my fault because, look, I can do different faces too. It's like, you know, dude, 45 minutes ago, this would have been real helpful information for your child who's on the run from murder robots. So if you've got a problem and you see that problem happening with your child, then it's like, maybe be like, hey, let's talk about this, because really, I'm the problem and we need to tackle this together. You know what I'm saying? Stop lying to your children. Get them tested, get them tested for neurological disorders, because sometimes they get tested 15 years too late, You know what I'm saying?
That is,
I'm out here having conversations with my siblings trying to figure out what everyone's diagnosis is because I never went through the testing. All right. That's what you don't understand.
I understand. I told my parents recently about some recent testing I took, and they responded with, it was probably my diet as an adult that caused me to have some stuff going on. And I was like, what? Cool.
Well, Sour Patch Kids, they'll do that for you. They make your brain fuzzy. You're like, what? What are you talking about?
I jokingly said, nah, it was the vaccines for sure. And they were like, I have seen that. And I was like, no, you have not.
Oh, what a world we live in,
Cody, here's the thing about this movie. And I think
if you didn't take the vaccine, you'd be able to fix your Achilles tendon in 4 months flat. That's what I'm telling you. You pop your Achilles tendon, you got the vaccine. You sorry, dude. It's gonna take at least 6 months.
Yeah. You gotta. Here's what you gotta do. You snap that Achilles tendon like a dried out rubber band. Earthing. Mm-hmm. That's the solution. Go out, get your little tootsies, dig them in the dirt a little bit.
Yep.
Become one with the earth. Let the natural energy of the earth itself, of Mother Gaia, heal your body. Cody, this movie was this movie is a punishment inflicted upon humanity. I'll be honest. I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be, as far as like, it's just a bad kids movie. It's like anything. The difference is this is a movie that's pumped out by some random Chinese studio you've never heard of to rip off Kung Fu Panda or the Lego Movie or any random movie. The difference is it's made by like top tier Sony animators, but the quality of the movie is definitely a cheap knockoff movie. This movie was accidentally played at the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II. I don't know if you saw the news about this. You think it
was an accident, or you think some anarchist was like, this is befitting of her funeral? That's what I think happened,
Because she wouldn't let her children be different, Cody.
With the monarchy, all right? That's all I got to say. You're living out here in the what are we even, the 21st century? And you out here got a monarchy? That is cringe. All right. That's what I'm saying,
This woman looked her son in the eye and says, I'll die after you so you don't get to be king. But guess who's laughing now, lady?
Tell you what. Here's what we can do with the royal family. Here's what you do. Seize their assets, give them back to the people. But, before you do that, seize the assets, you grab them, you plop them down in the middle of London in the ghetto, all right? No phones, no security, no help, all right? They need to get back to Buckingham Palace within 4 hours. If they can do it, they can keep their assets, but they don't get the throne back either way. They need some sort of a test to be like, all right, prove to us that you're better than us. And if you can do that, then sure, you can have your stuff back. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, Cody.
Drop Prince Charles in the middle of I don't know.
I'm sorry, Prince Charles, Cody?
Yeah. Prince Charles. I'm not going to. He's King not my Chuck? King, all right? He's
you think anybody calls him King Chuck?
King Chuck.
Oh, KC. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, but, doesn't that make sense? Some sort of a test of strength or something.
Cody, here's the reality, all right? This German family came over and have been inbreeding with themselves for like 5,000 years or something. I don't know when the Windsors took over. But at what point are they going to say you guys aren't even like the original royal family? That's what I want to know. But also the original royal family sucked. Let's talk about this. All these people out here.
What have the royals done for England ever?
Also, here's the thing: if you're an American and you're like, "But the royal family's cool," you're a traitor. You are Benedict Arnold. That's what he said. That's what he said too. He said, but the royals, the king, pretty cool guy. And then he betrayed his country. That's you. I don't trust you if you like the royals.
Awful.
Ask your mom about Princess Diana. She'll say, oh my gosh, she's so great. Your mom, traitor. You need to report her. She needs to she's getting sent down to Guantanamo. The message of Emoji Movie is waterboard your mom for information on the monarchy.
Someone online was talking about how the Guitar Center's G is just a guitar. It doesn't really look like a G. And they were putting it in other places with G's like Olive Garden. And then the last one was Guantanamo Bay. And it was like, well, but it was a guitar logo. Oh, it's pretty good. Tyler, I want to be honest with you. I got nothing else to say about this movie. I want to rate it, but I need to know, what did we miss? What else do you need to tell the people about this piece of garbage?
Let me end with this little nugget of info for you. Towards the bottom of this illustrious list of trivia, just full of such wonderful nuggets, as this is the 6th animated movie by Sony or something dumb. If that's what you put in there, you should be banned from putting trivia in there. It's like, yep, sure.
Yeah.
Paramount, Warner Brothers, and Sony fought each other tooth and nail to get this. Sony had to fight off 2 of the largest media companies on earth for the right to make this movie. Cody, how much
Tyler,
did this movie cost? This is why you'll
never be a film exec, because this movie made money. All right, that's where you're wrong.
How much did it make, Cody?
Turned a profit. I don't know. I think I saw some numbers. Wasn't it like 250 million global or something?
Ooh, it's 217 million worldwide to make it. Or I mean, the gross. That was the gross, and then the budget estimated. Hold on, let's get a double check on it. Oh boy, that's a solid $50 million to make it.
Bam. This movie turned a profit. We did it to ourselves. Why? Why do we do it to ourselves? You know?
I mean, I've rented it for $18.99 twice, you know?
You paid money for this? I watched this on Freevee with ads, my guy. I was like, no way. Never. I will not give the movie more money. Look, Tyler, let's talk about it. This movie, bad. And it's not bad in the way that it's like absolutely terrible. It's bad in the way that it's so not good that it makes me hate it worse than a movie that's actually bad. Like, there are movies like The Room with Tommy Wiseau and Sharknado that are actively terrible. And this movie is just so lacking in finesse and storytelling skills that it made me hate it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you ever met someone who was so boring that you're like, I hate you. It's like, they did nothing wrong. They're not a bad person. They didn't mistreat me, but they're so boring, so bland, so vanilla, so white that it's like, you know, you are negatively impacting the world with your boringness, you know? That's how I feel about it. You just can't stand to be in their presence because you're draining me. You're an energy vampire. You're sucking out all the good vibes. You're absorbing them into your own to feed, you know? Shout out to What We Do in the Shadows. Shout out Colin Robinson.
I don't think Colin Robinson could make it through this movie, if I'm honest.
Oh, if there were other people watching it, he would have a feeding frenzy. That's what I'm telling you. Well, what else you got to say? You know, what else you have to say about it?
I want to hear.
If you're boring, don't come talk to me. All right.
I want to hear your rating of the movie.
All right. I've thought long and hard about it. And then I was like, you know what? It did make me laugh twice, and I don't care. This movie it's first one in a while. It's a straight F. It's not, it's an F. This movie was terrible. It was a terrible experience for me. I just, you know what I'm saying? You can't make someone fall in love with you with an emoji. Otherwise, I would have a whole harem of lovers, you know what and I would send them emojis every day, and they would fawn over me, and they wouldn't care that, you know, there's other people around, and they'd be like, you know what? But he really loves me the most because he sends me the best kissy face emojis. You know what I'm saying? It's an F, Tyler. And if you believe different, you know, you've been poisoned. You're out here oh, you've been brainwashed. Well, you give it.
Cody, here's what I gotta tell you. All right. This movie, everybody told me this movie's the worst. You know, this movie killed my father. You know, that's what I was told, you know, and that's why I went in ready for it. It didn't happen. You know, this movie, here's a little fun fact for you. This movie I think, you know, it's written by the same guy that gave us Igor and Kronk's New Groove and Lilo and Stitch 2.
Every bad sequel to a Disney movie ever.
Directed by the same man who did Kung Fu Panda's Secret of the Masters. I don't know what that is. And Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch has a glitch. Yeah. And Igor.
Yep.
I'm going to look this man. I was going to say, I think this movie achieved the vision of the executive. I think it achieved the vision of the director, writer, and story writer. He wrote the story, the screenplay, and directed it. I think this was his vision.
Doesn't have a story. I hate to tell you this.
No, it says story by.
This man's fluffing his resume. He's saying, you know what? I did write the story for the Emoji Movie, not to toot my own horn. You're out here
thinking this man needs this resume.
Difficult and complex story resolution issues in a manner that assisted in the grossing of $250 million at the box office for the Emoji Movie. That's what this man's putting in his resume. And I'm here to tell you, this movie doesn't have a story. It's got a Candy Crush sequence, a Just Dance sequence, and a Dropbox sequence. And that's what it's got. And 2 emojis falling in love again in Paris. You know, carry on. What were you going to say?
Here's the thing. You think this man, he needs to pad out this resume? Cody, hazard a guess what this titan of the industry has done since the Emoji Movie.
I don't know, an episode of Disney Princess series?
Absolutely nothing. He has done nothing since this movie. He did nothing but
he
after
reached the mountaintop and he retired on top. All right, that's what
he did. Igor
when you crack
did
out
nothing
a
for
movie
9
like
years,
the Emoji Movie. You gotta just know it's time to retire on top. You know.
Exactly. You coming out here, you're winning a Razzie.
You show up at industry events and you just collect your roses, you know?
This man won 2 Razzies, Cody, for worst screenplay and worst director. He won.
It was a bad movie, but in such a different way than I was expecting, you know? And that's why it got an F, you know?
I'm not mad at it. I'm just disappointed. All right. That's the problem.
There you go. So what are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it a D because I think it had some funny moments. I think it achieves what it needed to achieve. I think it's something you can put on for, you know who I bet would love this movie? Baby J.
I knew you were going to keep my son's name out of your mouth. Oh my goodness.
He's out here. Baby J's out here. He's cooing.
No.
He's wiggling. He's doing this thing. He's going, where you're like, oh, what are you doing? Are you about to fling yourself violently off the couch? I don't know if your baby does that. Every baby does that. If yours doesn't, bravo, man. Sir. But you're like, is he enjoying it? Is he going to try to commit suicide for the 900th time today? You know, you never know. But I bet you he'd be there for it, is what I'm saying. But I'm going to say he would also like Kronk's New Groove, Lilo and Stitch 2, and Igor. And he's the target demographic, Cody. If you want a movie based on a phone thing, just go watch Angry Birds. It's a better movie. It's not a good movie, but it's way better.
Man, Tyler,
are you ready to do the thing?
Thanks for wasting my time with this movie, you know, and just to sit here and get to complain about it. What a pleasure. What are we doing next? We gotta pull that device out.
It's the machine.
Sir. Ugh.
Okay, ready? I'm gonna do the thing.
Oh
yeah. It never comes up with the thing I want, but it comes up with the thing we need. You know
what?
Hitman Agent 47, Cody.
Hold on. Is it the Timothy Oliphant one?
I don't believe so.
Darn. All right. Well,
hold on. Let me give you.
Movie based on a phone, and now we're doing a movie based on a video game. Well, you can never go wrong. You know, the video game based movies, they're never not good. You know,
I mean, they're the best. See, an assassin teams up with a woman to help her find her father and uncover the mysteries of her ancestry. Also, he has a barcode tattooed on his neck.
Classic.
That's what I said.
Not the Tim the Elephant one.
Nope, it is Rupert Friend, who looks like
that's not a
Orlando
person.
Bloom,
I've
but is
never
not Orlando
heard of
Bloom.
that man.
But he looks like it.
Yeah, well, because he looks like he's a person doesn't mean he's a real person. Trust me, I know. I've been fooled before.
There's so many.
I've been catfished. All right, I think I haven't been catfished before.
Just know, like, there's so many good movies on here. You know?
Oh man,
not really.
A little Emoji Movie on our list. That's the real question, Tyler. It's just been a disaster. Thanks so much for doing this with me. You know,
it's a pleasure. You know, thanks for finally joining the ranks. Hitman is we're gonna do the same thing one day. Cats. You know, will Cats be worse
more
than
James
Emoji
Corden
Movie?
feature films? There's one thing James Corden's known for. It's just top quality feature films. You know.
Oh yeah. All right.
Do you want to take us home? Or do you want me to take us home?
You can take us home. I think I still have you do it.
It's been, you know, it hasn't been fun, but it's been real, you know, and I want to thank our listeners for, you know, for listening to me suffer and Tyler enjoying his sadist tendencies. And here we are, you know, find us wherever you find your podcasts. We are Opinion Havers. We're on the social media, but not really, but neither are you, you know, and if you got a movie you want us to do, keep it to yourself. You know, we got our own thing going on. And until next time, watch movies
and have opinions. It's called the Loser Lounge. That's where they stuffed fish cracker. Fish cake.
It's like people running around being like, we have to go here for the next thing. And then they're running around and James Corden's running in circles screaming. And they're like, we did that thing, but what about we run here for the next thing? And it was that for 87 minutes, you know?
Why did he have a Band-Aid on? Is there a Band-Aid on the high five? Is there a Band-Aid on the high five emoji?
Yeah, why? I was like, I missed some major plot thing. Why is there a Band-Aid on him?
It was a bandana.